Okay, so I'm doing a board here for my preview tomorrow, getting all the stats all ready. And so, as background noise, I often have the TV on, and I'll be watching whatever. Now, this is an entertainment guy video, so this isn't some hockey behind the scenes thing on the wrong channel or anything. This is just me talking to you fine people about a movie called What Keeps You Alive. And um, wow, I don't know where to start. So I tune into this movie. Now, this is after the games are over and I'm done my. I do hockey reviews every night of all the games that are played. So I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna watch this movie. We're gonna see what's going on here. And what happened actually was I'm flipping through the channels as I often do, and I'll flip through the news. And I don't linger on the news much anymore at all. I'm right now the news has just got me so ticked off at so many things. There isn't any one thing. It's just a cornucopia of crap. So I'm staying away from it. And so I see this movie, and it's these two ladies who are married, and they're out on this romantic trip together. And I thought, nah, well, I'll just watch a couple minutes of this. I guess it looked Canadian, so I thought, yeah, Canadian movies can be pretty good. Gotta learn, Shannon. You just gotta learn. So she's out on this cliff talking. Oh, this is gorgeous, and of course, the wife pushes her off the cliff, and I'm like, what? So that's a good hook. That's a good hook. Is pushing somebody off a cliff, and with that, I was like, I'm okay. I'm in. We'll see how that turns out. I want to see what happens from here. Marsha's such a long name. There has to be a way to shorten it without saying Marshy, because Marshy just doesn't sound right. It sounds too close to Marsha. Anyways, unrelated completely to what I'm talking about. So, girl who falls off the cliff doesn't die. So I'm like, okay, that's an interesting bit, right? And the wife goes looking for her. By the way, this review is going to be all spoilers. It just is, because honestly, I'm trying to help people. Um, this is one of those. If you see this on TV and you're like, this looks good, okay, I'm going to help you to make you make that decision that Shannon warned me about this. So she falls off the cliff, and she magically is able to move and function. It's not a huge, but it's not a small cliff. It would kill you. Anyway, so she falls off the cliff, and she's having these flashbacks to when she fell in love, and how she loved her wife, and how there's some deep storyline. I don't know. They're trying to get at it, but they never really flesh it out. So it just feels kind of stupid and kind of like they're padding out the time. Like they were like, okay, we don't have 90 minutes of footage here. Can we pad it out? Yeah, just have them, I don't know, making out and talking about crap. It sounds good. We'll just film it through like some kind of a weird filtered lens so that it looks all artsy and crap. Yeah, artsy and crap sells. People like artsy crap. So she's stumbling around in the woods, and you're like, and I'm thinking, okay, so we're going to be in this survivalist thing where the wife knows she's out there and she's got to get better, and you're going to big fight, and it's going to be all over the woods, and it's going to be this great thing because the psycho wife is like, I know these woods like the back of my hand, and I'm like, okay, this is going to be great. They have this big fight, and it's going to be this great survivalist kind of movie. Nah. Wife finds her, and because our protagonist is stupid, she just like ends up getting dragged back to the house. Or no, first, before we end up getting back to the house, which is stupid. No, she gets back to the she gets back to the house. I think my mind is already trying to block it out. So she gets back to the house, and she's a nurse, so she can like diagnose whether or not her ankle's broken, and whether she can stitch up her stomach, which she does, because somehow her stomach got opened during the fall. I don't know. I again, I think I'm already starting to block some of it out. I think my PTSD's kicking in. Hers didn't. So she kind of fashions herself, whatever that she needs to get herself well, and then she finds a boat. So what do you do when you find a boat? You go out on a lake. Do you have a plan, or you go out on the lake? Nah. You don't need a plan. It's just because this person's trying to kill you. Why do you need a plan? You don't need a plan. Plans are for idiots. So since she's an idiot, well, one without a plan, she's rowing away, and so wifey finds her, and of course there's another boat, because of course there is, And so wifey gets in the other boat and starts chasing her, and because she's still, injured because she fell 200 feet to her death and didn't die, um, she's unable to keep a distance between her and Psycho Wife. So they're screaming and yelling at each other in the middle of the lake. And then a guy comes out that, again, because I came in partway through, I might have been supposed to know who this was, but I don't care. So the guy comes up. You ladies okay out there? Because, the guy has to ask if the ladies are okay, because that's, you don't just ask, hey, are you okay? It has to be like, ladies, girls, hey, you have a different gender, so I need to assign that while I'm talking to you. Anyway, so you can tell that lady who fell off a cliff is bleeding all over the place. There's blood all over her face, and I understand that he's a distance away, but he should have thought her face looks kind of, I don't know, Blair Witchy from here. Something's a little off with their face. You okay? And the fact that when he asks, "Are you okay?" and the wife answers right away, "Yes, she's fine, no problem." And so they're like, he's like, "You ladies still coming over for dinner tomorrow night?" Because of course they're going over there for dinner tomorrow night. And the protagonist yells out, "Tonight." Now along the way, of course, you have to ask, well, why didn't she scream out for help? Well, because wifey's saying, "I'll stab you if you say anything." I would have called her on it, because her whole thing was she didn't want to get caught, right? She doesn't want to get caught. She doesn't want to go to jail. It turns out she's done this before. She's killed, I don't know how many wives. They had these charm bracelets or something she carried around for like her murder box or whatever the hell it was. And so she's, well, come over tonight. And it's like, oh, look, she did something smart. Not really. It really wasn't smart. Because she's stupid. So, yeah. Anyways, so he's like, "Oh, okay, we'll see you tonight." And I guess he didn't hear all the screaming and yelling and see them fighting, or that there's two boats out there and they're in one boat, which is weird, right? Not to him. He's clueless, because in this movie everybody is. So they go back to the house, and she bathes the one that she's trying to kill, and talks about how she's going to kill her later, and they're going to go to this dinner thing because they're going to... Okay, you're throwing her off a cliff. Why can't you throw her off a cliff now? Does it matter when you throw her off a cliff? Do you have to take her to dinner, or can you throw her off a cliff and then report that she fell to her death anyways? Of course you can, but because this movie's stupid... So... And at this point, I'm sure people are like, well, why were you still watching? Because I have to. I have to see how it ends. So they go to this dinner. I don't know what was happening. And of course, since our hero is stupid, and she tells her, she says, if you tell them what's going on, they're gonna die. So of course she tells them, and Psycho Wife kills them. And I think the greatest thing about our hero, and she's a hero, is that while they're being slaughtered and hacked to pieces, she sits and cries in the corner. I think a really good heroine should be a person that just cries in a corner. Said nobody ever. So she's pathetic, and now she's gotten people murdered. And when the Psycho Wife turns and goes, "You killed them, I didn't," she's right. She told her what was going to happen, and she told them anyways, and she made it really obvious too. It's not like she's like, "Can I go in the other room and talk to your wife?" No. In the same room where the psycho's looking through the window, she's almost pointing at her like, she's trying to kill me. What do you expect to happen? And of course then there's really loud music, so the hubby gets his throat slit, because of course he does. He's useless because he's useless. I don't even understand what the point of that was, again, unless it's to pad the running time. Now I gotta change boards. So, and I had to change boards for a movie review. That's a first. So, and if you're wondering why Yvonne isn't in this review, it's because she was smart enough to stay upstairs and not come down and watch this. I wish I'd been smart enough not to watch this too. So I have to know how it ends. I have to know if it gets better. I was waiting for a clever ending. I was waiting for something clever. Sometimes a bad movie will give you a clever ending and you go, "Oh, okay, all right. This was almost not worth dying over." Because you feel like you're dead inside after you're done watching it. So Anyways, so after the murder, she then cuts them up with an axe, but she puts down plastic, but the plastic's not going to work if you've already murdered them. So the plastic I couldn't understand. Like I guess it's like to maybe it's a Dexter callback, but it didn't make like Dexter put down the plastic before murdering people so that you could just wrap them, and then the plastic kept everything, but everything had blood on it. Anyways, but magically she didn't. I don't know where her blood went, because she had blood all over her face from murdering people, and then 10 seconds later, gone. So I guess she's a clean murderer. So she points out that she doesn't have a any kind of reaction to it. She takes wifey and puts her hand against her neck, like feel that, see that? Yeah, there's no heartbeat. Like my heartbeat's normal. Do you feel that? I don't have a conscience. And it's like, okay, this movie really doesn't need to point out she doesn't have a conscience, because we just watched her hack people to pieces just because they found out she's psycho. So I anyways, so after murdering these people, they she then cuts she cuts you see her like hacking somebody to pieces, which is just really just not nice. Don't do that. And then in the next then she says to our hero, you get to do the other one, meaning after she's done cutting up, I don't even know if it was the guy or the girl, I didn't really look. She was like, you get to do the other one, so the other corpse you get to cut up. They didn't show that. That I thought, oh, that could be intense, because that could be really just messed up, and that could mess somebody up. But nah, we're not going to show that, because why would we show that? That might show, like, I don't know, characters changing, and maybe it would give the our hero an axe so she could, like, I don't know, kill the psycho wife. No, no, no. She not only helps her hack the bodies to pieces. Apparently, they don't show us, so I don't know whether she just said psych and did it herself or what. But in the next scene, they're in the middle of the lake throwing the bodies into the lake in garbage bags, which doesn't. I don't think that works. So it might. I don't. I've never done it, so I have no idea. But again, Dexter. So Dexter thing. Um, there were some Dexter moments in this. You could see there was kind of a Lady Dexter thing they had going on here, except Dexter had a motivation. Dexter had a reason. Dexter made you cheer for him. But don't worry, I was cheering for the killer by the end of this movie anyways, because her hero was dumb. So, Lady Dexter takes her, brings her out in a boat in the middle of the lake, and they dump the bodies into the lake. And I'm thinking, this would be a really good time for our hero to fight back and hit her with the oar, or maybe she can pick a fight with her and throw her out of the boat, or something here, because she has to show like she has some courage. You have to show that you have courage, and that you're worth cheering for and worth rooting for. Not our hero. Nothing happens. They go back to the house. So they go back to their vacation house, and she starts talking to her about how, like, yeah, I'm gonna throw you off a cliff tomorrow because I'm gonna cash in your insurance, and I've done this before, and I did this with my wife and before, and I took her and I drowned her, and then I cried at her funeral. I'm gonna cry at your funeral too, so that'll make you feel better. And it's just dumb. So the next morning they get up and they're gonna go to her murder, which she seems to be completely willing to do. Now again, there's an angle with this that you could make it work, where because she was a witness to what she was a witness to, and she would feel guilty for what had happened to her friends that had got massacred the night before, you could have her going through some kind of a guilt over that, feeling responsible, and throw herself off the cliff and just say, you know what, I don't want to live, and then leave some kind of evidence behind, implicating her wife in all of it, and getting her wife thrown in jail for the rest of her life, or an insane institution, or something like that. The movie's not that smart, so none of that happens. Instead, she does something smart. She has a tranquilizer dart, and she jabs her in the neck with it, and then she goes running into the woods rather than kicking her ass out of the jeep and driving away. She runs out into the woods, and she ends up on the cliff that her friend slash wife was gonna push her off of. The cliff that they look like it was filmed in the woods around here. The only way you end up on that cliff again is if you mean to end up on that cliff again, because clearly there was a path to that cliff. So she goes out on the, and then she just starts screaming, and I'm like, what are you doing? Get away from the cliff, you idiot! So of course the wife shows up with a gun, and or no, she had a knife, and she was like, I'm gonna kill you, and then she just passes out right from the tranquilizer dart, and she falls. So our hero goes over to pull her hair out of her eyes and cries because she loved her, and it's like, no, no, you didn't, no, 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 because she was trying to kill you. So love is over now. That's done. But our hero drives away, and I couldn't figure out why. They do like some kind of a flashback where she said, I'm the crow, I'm the smartest animal in the forest, and the wife said, well, I'm a bald eagle. And because she has the flashback to that, she drives back and goes looking for her to have a confrontation with her that she could have had a long time ago in the movie, but she didn't because I guess the movie forgot to have it or something. So she drives back when she could have driven to the cops and said she's gonna kill everybody. She killed friends and they're in the lake. So I remember which team I'm looking up. All right, Nashville. So she goes back to find her, and they have this fight, and you've waited the entire movie for a fight. So you're like, okay, we're finally gonna get the fight. We're finally gonna see them fight. We're finally gonna see our big badass hero fight her wife, and this is gonna be great. They don't show it. The fight, you hear a bunch of slapping and kicking and punching, and they film it from downstairs. So you see like the lamp moving back and forth, and the floor, you see the dust, when you jump up and down on the floor. Upstairs, the dust you see downstairs, because that happens in every house. I guess log cabin or whatever the hell it was. Fine, I'll give you that. And then she decides that the whoever was directing this decides, well, we're gonna have to show who won the fight, and of course it's the psycho wife, but she didn't kill the other one. So she feeds her breakfast the next morning because the movie's stupid. So she feeds her breakfast and says, well, you're gonna die today. How do you feel? You're gonna die. And the wife's like, oh, why do you do this? And I don't understand why you do this. And then she figured out she'd killed a lot of people before. Like, that should be a big revelation, other than the fact we just saw her kill 2 people with no conscience. So clearly she's done it before, more than once. So stupid. Worst protagonist ever. She then takes her out into the woods, and I'm thinking, okay, so there's going to be some kind of a... Now, I've been waiting for like a Tyler Durden kind of swerve with this movie. I've been expecting too much. So she takes her out onto the cliff and throws her off. And she's dead. And I'm like, oh, okay. That wasn't... We waited the whole movie, and she's dead. Why did I waste my time? So I'm thinking, like, how much time could I have done these boards, and still now, right? And I'm watching this movie that's just taking my brain and just mushing it like crazy. So while I'm trying to process that, of course, our psycho killer lady friend, she goes she goes home. She uses her phone to dial 911. She's the only person that has a working phone in this movie, I'm guessing. It was made last year. Everybody has a cell phone, but in this movie, nobody ever uses the damn thing. So she calls 911, and it's like, oh, my wife's fallen off a cliff, and I'm all upset, and she's not answering. She's not responsive, and she said I'm 20 minutes off the 101, and then she hangs up, and it's like, wait, how do they know where you are? That's just, you're out in the woods 20 miles off the highway. Okay, or 20 minutes, I didn't, anyways, or 20 kilometers. I don't really care. My brain was dying at that point, so I may be remembering some things wrong. So while she's on the phone, she starts to feel nauseous, and I'm thinking, great, the wife got her pregnant. There's going to be some kind of a crying game thing. That's too clever. So she finds her wifey's computer, which is open because it was open earlier too. Wifey did not use the computer to find an internet connection to contact 911, which you can do. That's the thing, and that dates back to the Scream movie with Nev Campbell. Yes, Sidney Prescott was smarter 50 million times than our hero in this movie. So our hero in this movie has poisoned the wifey through hydrogen peroxide, which she injected into her, and she says it'll just drive you crazy and it'll hit your brain and then you'll go and then you'll die. And I'm like, what? So through the whole movie, we watch as every time she has a chance to kill this woman and put an end to all of the violence and the harassment, and knowing she's going to die if she doesn't kill this woman, we find out that in her state of not seeming to care about the fact that everybody else is going to die if she doesn't do something, she has actually succeeded in murdering her wife just after she's dead. So they show the wifey running off into the woods, and then she has a flashback to when she was a kid and she killed a bear. And you don't see the bear and the kid on the TV at the same time. Like, they're not on the screen at the same time because the movie couldn't afford to have a bear in it. So instead, you see the little girl fire the gun. You don't actually see or hear a bear hit the ground. They didn't even have the Foley artist come in and do, thump for the bear falling down. Now, we don't need Foley for that. So maybe it was a really grassy knoll, so it didn't make any noise when it hit the ground. I don't know. I don't know how killing bears works. I've never done it. So she's a psycho because she killed a bear when she was a little girl or something. I don't care. And then she drops dead. She's convulsing in the middle of the woods. I guess they'll never find her. I don't really care. And then they show our dead hero laying there. She has to have been there for hours at that point. She's been there for quite a while. That's okay. I've been laying dead. My brain's been laying dead for hours after putting this stupidity on TV. And then as they show the woods up above, the wonderful, beautiful woods of British Columbia. I'm pretty sure this was filmed in BC. You hear our hero breathing, and then it goes to credits. And all I could think was, she's so stupid, she's going to find a way to resuscitate the killer. She's going to find a way to resuscitate the killer and tell her she's sorry, and she's going to get stabbed in the face. That's what they cut out. That's probably going to be a director's cut. You'll find out she resuscitated the killer and stabbed her the killer stabbed her in the face, and that's the end. I think this is one of those movies that it tries so hard to be clever. I think, and I've always wanted to make a movie. It is one thing that, honestly, if I could, and I've looked up even recently, how much of a budget would I need to make a movie? Just some cheap, low-budget horror movie kind of thing. Almost like that, except with characters that have motivations and brains and a hero that, I don't know, does hero stuff. But it's so frustrating because, again, there are so many parts of this movie that could have been good. There are like the part where she shoves her off the cliff initially. That's a great moment to grab you and you go, wow, what's going on over here? But then the rest of the movie happens, and it just kills it. So, the movie, which was called, and I've still got it on the same channel so I can look back. What Keeps You Alive? I cannot unrecommend it enough. Unless you have the energy, if you see it, and it's on Crave TV in Canada, if you're going, it can't be that bad. I don't normally do this. This is the first time I've ever done this. It can be that bad. So, you've been warned. No, I did it with Geostorm. Geostorm was beyond stupid as well. That movie, there's so much stupidity in that. But again, for me with a hero, I need to know their motivation. I need them to do heroic things. I need them to try not to stand in a corner and cry every time something happens. And when your psychotic wife is coming in the door and she's going to kill your friend, don't just yell run. Stand together. There's two of you and one of her. Do something. What did you tell her for if she was just going to run away and get butchered? And if you're just going to stand there and watch it happen? That for me, and that's the problem, is that that's where the hero loses me. And it's part of the reason why people cheer for Jason Voorhees in Friday the 13th movies, because the kids are really dumb. And when you see them doing things that are really, really stupid, you go, you know what? Yeah, you don't deserve. Wait, did he just call out, Vince, is that you? I'm gonna come get you. Yeah, then Jason knows where you are. That's it. You don't deserve to. No, that's it. I'm done. And so you're kind of cheering for Jason at that point. Like, there you go. I had to. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And if you watch this movie after my review, if you think it's not that bad, anyways, I thought I would try to save some people, because it just, the plot line sounds like it could be interesting, and the acting is actually decent. I will say that the actresses in this movie, the two lead actresses, aren't bad. The one that plays the crazed killer, she can play that role well. She's a good actress. Just the movie, the twists, the turns, that just too much. It's too much, and yet it's not enough development from the main, seems supposed to be protagonist. I don't know. I don't even know if there's a number I could give this movie. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.